I'm Dylan.
And I'm Tessa. Welcome back to Western Wild. Today we're going to introduce you to another one of our favorite winter camping staples. It's either Nuuk or Nuuk. If you know how to appropriately pronounce that, please leave a comment. Fjallraven Parka. Cozy. So this is my third season with the Fjallraven Parka. A couple years ago, we were just starting to get into winter camping, and I was always cold through any camping trip that we took. I would wear every layer that I had, and it was like, I really need something that's going to keep me warm and not require that I look like a pumpkin on every single camping trip. So I more or less went to REI and started going through all the different jackets, what's gonna work, what's not. I was really tired of kind of your standard puffy options because I didn't feel like they were as insulating as I wanted them to be. And then I came across this jacket, and the two things that really stood out to me were how cold it will keep you warm too, and the fact that it is windproof. And it really does live up to its cold weather and windproof reputation. So over the course of the last couple of years, I've worn this on every single one of our camping trips, and it's kept me pretty toasty. I will wear this with just one layer on underneath. So as you can see, like right now it's 25 degrees out, and I have just a basic base layer on underneath this, and I am quite comfy. I would say you don't need something quite this heavy if you are actively snowshoeing, hiking, cross-country skiing, etc. But if you are camping, sitting around a fire, you have fairly low activity levels, this will keep you really warm at a sedentary state with minimal layering underneath.
So I have to admit that starting out, I was a little bit of a Parka skeptic. I've always had this belief that through the use of the right base layer, mid layer, and a waterproof and windproof outer shell, that unless you were going on some sort of an Arctic expedition, there really wasn't a need for a jacket this heavy. Well, I was wrong. Tessa touched on it a little bit earlier, but there's a big difference in between going snowshoeing, skiing, even snow hiking, and actually going out and camping and living in a wintry environment like this. Once you get into those situations where your body is not actually actively producing body heat to fill out your clothing, you need a much, much heavier piece of outer gear to keep that heat in. And I feel like that's really where the Parka comes into its own. I found that with the right combination of layers, this jacket can keep you comfortable when winter camping down to the zeros and the teens in that range. For use around town, wearing it to the bonfire at your local brew pub, they're really great even without too many layers. I think it looks good. It's that nice combination between a comfortable, decent looking city parka and something more along the lines of an expedition parka that will keep you warm in a wide variety of conditions.
Another reason that I like this jacket is that it doesn't make you look like a pumpkin when you're out in the woods. I can also wear this out to the bar with something nice on underneath, if that's out for a date night on a snowy night, and know that I'm going to be warm and also reasonably fashionable-ish. It has a nice little waistline here that'll cinch your waist in. It does obviously drop down to mid-thigh to kind of keep you a little bit warmer. But it does have a little bit of style to it, which is, I think, a pretty nice perk as a woman.
One of my favorite features of this jacket is just how many pocket options it provides. No matter how you like to store your gear or what you're bringing with you, this jacket supplies a pocket for your needs. Out of all of the pockets, my favorite is probably the fleece-lined hand warmer pockets down here. They also, with the cargo pockets at the bottom, fleece line those as well. So if you like to have your hands like this, that works. And then moving on up, there's a whole bunch of other utility pockets available. These ones are great for phones, wallets, anything of that nature that you need quick access to. And then moving inside of the jacket, I can't even count them all. You've got phone pockets here. I don't even know what that is. nice big cargo pockets here for you to be able to store gloves, hats, other winter essentials. Personally, I keep my basic winter gloves and my hat in this jacket at all times, so that I don't have to track down those other options when we're headed out the door. It's just in the closet, in the jacket, ready to go.
Now we're going to talk about a couple of the differences between the men's and the women's model. The women's model does have just as many pockets, which I think is pretty awesome. I can store everything I need in all of the pockets. The key difference, though, in the pockets between the men's and the women's is where you can have your hands. So this has 2 fleece-lined hand pockets, kind of at waist level. Like I'm more or less at the bottom of my rib cage with my hands. As to where the men's pockets are down by the cargo pockets. So for ladies, you're just a little more up. I actually kind of tend to like that from a hand positioning standpoint.
All right, so now we're going to touch on some of the disadvantages of this jacket. And one of the biggest ones is that the zipper can be a royal pain to get hooked up, especially when you have gloves on or it's cold out.
One other disadvantage to this is if you are a pet owner. We personally have a golden retriever. This jacket is a fur magnet. As you can see in various spots, there is still fur all over it. I have delinted it multiple times, many times, half a roll maybe. No, not really. But it collects fur with ease, and you have to really take care of it and be very detailed and meticulous in delinting it to keep the fur off.
At $500, this parka is a little bit of a splurge.
That being said, when you think about the amount of money that you would spend on your base layers, various puffies, vests, etc., to get yourself to the point of being kind of warm, but maybe not totally warm in a winter camping situation, you've probably already spent about $400 to $500. As to where you can use that money on one item that you know is going to keep you warm at extremely cold temperatures. If you're interested in taking a look at this jacket, we've included a link in the comments. Go ahead and check it out and let us know what you think if you get it. Thanks for joining us on Western Wild. See you next time.